I wrote this last year, in December of last year. I didn't realize a decade had turned over until, I don't know, someone mentioned it or something, and I was like, oh shit, it's been 10 years again. And so I was just thinking about the previous decade of my life, being in Chicago and just things that have happened and things that have changed. I call this ham. This year, Kanye West dropped an album called Jesus is King. I was talking with some folks and we all agreed he's been mentally ill for a long time, probably even before all the fame and money. We think he's trying to start his own religion, which to a lot of people will look like a cult, the way religions do until they don't. I probably won't join Kanye's following, as I've never really joined any, just lingered around a bit, read some stories here and there, prayed that things would be better, and thankful for everything there is. I can sit here and say I'm not a spiritual person. I very much so am and probably always will be. Find me a black person who doesn't believe in something unbelievable. When I was a child, I saw a Marian apparition. I've told only a handful of people that before now. It's not really a secret, but something I only bring up when the conversation steers that way. I bring it up now because of Kanye, kind of, but really because of me. I go through my life and at certain moments think maybe I'm blessed because things aren't supposed to be like this. I'm a speck of dust among a lot of other specks of dust. A ripple in the Strait of Magellan that's trying not to cause any disturbances. A dead dandelion in a field that's waiting. I don't and never have felt special. But I've come to the end of another year and only realized a couple of weeks ago an end of a decade. And what's happened in the past 10 years has to be a blessing. What's happened in these past 12 months is nothing less than a miracle. It's almost Christmas time, and I think it's okay to say that miracles happen. That there is some type of magic left in this world. At the job, people tell me, you and your girlfriend are so cute. I love your pictures. There's so much to be sad about, it's good to see some joy. Bear with me here, but I hate when people say that. Say she is my girlfriend. I fell in love for maybe the first time in my life this year. I did nothing. I waited, and she showed up. She means more to me than the term girlfriend could ever envelope. I did nothing but wait. I did nothing but dance with someone at a writing conference, and the sun went around this earth a few times, and she showed up. I'm almost 40 years old. Half my life has been lived. I'm a black man with bad eating habits and little to no health care for most of my life. I'll be 72 if I do this again. Tell someone like me magic doesn't exist. My friend Cecilia looks at me and says, I've known you for a long time and I've never heard about anybody the way I've heard about her. I've known Cecilia 10 years. She gave me one of my first jobs teaching poetry after I came out of grad school. Now here we are working together again, writing together again. I think we might do this for the rest of our lives. When Cecilia hired me, having a car was a big part of it. I could be mobile and get almost anywhere in the city. My friend Jen recommended I apply for the job because she knew Cecilia through something, I don't know what now. I talk to Jen sometimes. We went to grad school together. It's said if you can be friends with someone for 7 years, you can be friends with them for the rest of your life. 10 years ago, I was collecting 1090 lines like people collect mugs or foreign coins. This year, I had too many jobs. I had to tell people no. In Miami, on one of those jobs I said yes to, the hotel owners gave me a book their grandfather wrote. I lay in a rooftop pool and watched the women in the neighboring pool have a twerk contest. I texted my friend and said, yo, it's legit like a City Girls video in real life. The beauty of it was, though, These 4 black women took over a small corner of the world. It was just pure joy for no one but themselves. In Miami, on his 40th birthday, I watched my friend wearing white pants unbutton his red shirt and dance to Prince spinning in circles wearing a fedora. We took birthday pictures in front of the wrong hotel. All I did that whole week was talk about poetry and worried I was talking about poetry wrong. I did the same thing here in Chicago, walked with my buddy Kyle down Halstead quite a few times. We walked and talked about poetry. I did that a lot this year. Me and Kyle walked down a lot of streets or stood in the middle of streets and talked about poetry. Me and Kyle and Juice and Cyans and Brother Kelsey all read poems together. Talked, that's how the year started. People came out to see the starting 5 read poems. That's before the hustler was the hustler. That's before the reading kind of morphed into a book release party for everyone who was dead. And you know what? It was good. It was great. It was January. I started this year off blessed. 2 months later, and after 2 years of inviting her to things, my lady showed up. My birthday was the week after that, and that was love. And a month before that was Valentine's Day. Me and Kyle were drinking at a bar, and that's when the bookstore closed and everyone showed up, and that was love. Love is kind of a miracle that way. It's kind of unbelievable that way. Later, I went to a writing conference in one of the whitest cities in America, and as a black man, I bought weed legally on Martin Luther King Boulevard. I got pretty drunk at the bar. Someone asked me, so how you feeling? I said, feeling fucked up, like that Etheridge Knight poem. And then someone said it. All I want is my woman back so my world can sing. And we read that poem out loud. We made love in that bar, 8 of us, listening to poetry like nothing else mattered in the world because nothing did. You can't tell me magic doesn't exist. If I'm chasing a yellow hat into a 6-way intersection, you can't tell me some type of God doesn't exist. When a torrential storm hits upper New York and goes on for hours, you can't tell me some type of God didn't bring it there. And when I lost the moon, that it wasn't the same God that brought it back. I know magic isn't real, but yet I still believe. Doesn't that prove something? Imagine the paradox my brain goes through every day. I get obsessive thoughts. My brain is always running. I have panic attacks. I can't sleep. Remember that dandelion in the field? What if it gets blown to bits? The doctor prescribed me some selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and I should take them through the winter months as it'd be a better baseline to see where I'm at once there's more sun and the weather is better. I was on the Lit 50 and the Guild 30 Writers to Watch, presented at Northwestern's Writers Conference and the Story Studio Writers Festival. I bought a new car and paid on a lot of credit card debt, and still I wake up sometimes with my mind racing and I say, I don't want to do this again today. But that is magic. I have nothing to really complain about, but everything feels so hard. I've been going too hard. And maybe I'm leaving stuff out. A lot of my insecurities and trust issues and imposter syndrome and my running imagination and my general doubt and self-esteem. The ways I smoke too much and probably should drink less days a week. And that's maybe because things are hard. Hard as a motherfucker. Everything can feel so difficult. Go ham and reap the rewards. I went ham this year and everything went ham on me. Everything is ham. I loved so hard I almost drove myself crazy. I've been loved so hard it drove me into hysterics. I might be doing some of the best writing of my life right now. I done snapped, went off, went in, caught them niggas at they most thirstiest and slapped a glass of water out their hands. I can't write this without thinking of the moon. What the hell happened in 2019? I can't walk down the street without thinking about the moon. I can't write this without thinking about other people's poetry. OPP. Other people's poetry. I heard that about 10 years ago at a reading. The guy said every reading he does, he reads other people's poetry. What's happening here? Where did you think you would end up when you got out of bed this morning? I breathe in, I breathe out, I put one foot in front of the other, go hard or go home. Remember when things seemed easy? Remember when we thought Kanye was just kind of an asshole? When he said he was going ham? When he said, if life a bitch, suck my dick. You talk it, I live it. What the fuck happened? Where the fuck are any of us going? How does everyone wake up every day? I don't know. I have no idea. The best I can do is try and not let my mind wander too much. Some places are beautiful though. Some places still have so much magic. Some take the extraordinary and make it do something unexpected. Nigger in the twilight that is no longer a twilight, but a black creek fumbling along the spine of a boy who was running through a city that is running out of water. Even the lions have left for the mountains. This is America speaking in translation, in glitter and gold grills and fried chicken. Auto-tune this if you must. Cher will be singing in the brush of static from the attic radio, believing in love after love or life after love, despite the impure thoughts of evening, despite the rain soaking the red head of a red bird now dead in a puddle that refuses to reflect the moon. Roger Reeves.